Good evening, everybody. How is everybody tonight? Um, it is currently 1:09 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, and I know I said I would get AAP done on Wednesday, but you know what? It's still Wednesday to me, damn it. Um, I hope everyone's having a wonderful, wonderful day, evening, week, month. Um, I apologize about missing last week. Last week, as I explained in the Discord, I was sick last Wednesday. I'm still kind of sick today with with allergy season starting. And I have allergy, asthma, all that, so that's kind of what's kept me on the sidelines recently. And I was gonna stream on Saturday, which I'll get into more in a second, and then ended up having to work at 5:30 in the morning on Sunday. So my dreams of streaming Saturday night quickly fell apart for that. Um, before I get into the actual update, after the last video went up for AAP, I had some time. I took, excuse me, I took a couple nights to think about it, and Adopt a Prospect at this point in the future is going to be full video. Um, I wanted to keep doing text updates as I think those read better than the videos come out, but the problem I have is a mixture of not enough time and a mixture of having so many people signed up. And I love having as many people signed up as we did. I love all the support that's been coming from this series. The problem is that at the original pace I was going, um, even during my best times with the last Adopt a Prospect I was doing, 2 updates a week. Realistically now, I would only have 1 update a week, maybe even an update every 10 days. People suggested I take 2 weeks per update to not burn myself out. And I realize I look at the waiting list of people, and we have 40 people, I think, on the waiting list right now. It's not including the 11 who are currently in it. So that's 5 generations of people. You would anticipate a baseball career if you start really young, as we do in AAP. I expect people to play for about 20 seasons, which means I have 100 years worth of updates to do. And at 1 a week, and that 1 a week is being generous, so probably closer to 1 every 10 days. And 1 a week, that would mean that I would be doing updates for just this initial waiting list of people for 2 years, about whereabouts. And people who signed up in January of this year to get into AAP would have to wait possibly up to 2 years to see their player put in. And I said, no, I can't have that. We can't do that. And looking at the video updates, while I feel the quality isn't as great, um, it's something that I can do in one shot on one night, on one of my nights off from work. Um, and if it last update took me about an hour because I had all the simming done already. If it even takes me like an hour and a half to do with the simming, um, I can still do potentially 2 updates a week instead of one, or I could get more people in at once instead of 11, or both. And it should speed up the process of getting people in so that people aren't waiting 2 years to be put into AAP. So that's where we're standing. Um, AAP, Adopt a Prospect, is going to become a video series. I know that's an um, unpopular choice with some people. I had a couple people express to me that they do not like the video format, and I apologize for that, but I feel like it's the best way we're going to have to do it going forward. I would go back, I would keep doing text updates if it was something that I thought was manageable, but not with this many people. Yeah. So, that is my explanation as to why Adopt Prospect will become a video series. So, with that, let us get to AAP, where we last left off. The New York Highlanders had won the World Series for the first time in their team history in 1911. Frank Pickett broke a single-season home run record, smashing it by hitting 46 home runs this year, and then declared for free agency. Ghesquire, I believe, won another Triple Crown. Ellis, I think. Yeah, Ellis also won a Triple Crown. And we have 3 people hitting free agency. John Blee, Frank Pickett, Hunter Tuzero. Excuse me. Who hit above the Mendoza line again last year. Good for him. His contact's 41 now. Better than I expected it to be. Okay. So, we have... we've reached the announcement of the draft pool, which will be right here. Names like Jim Vox, Pete Alexander, Ray Chapman, Cy Williams are all people that are in this draft. If we want to go look at the full draft pool, let's see who has the highest potential here. Jack Fournier. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. Seems to have the highest potential out of everybody in this draft. George Cutshaw. That's an interesting name. Dave Robertson. George Baumgartner. Bullet Joe Bush. Oh, I like him. As for the draft, the St. Louis Cardinals will have the first and third pick in this draft. Cleveland Naps will have the second. Senators have the fourth. The Brooklyn Dodgers have the sixth and seventh. Speaking of that, I believe we had a couple name changes this season. The Brooklyn Superbas became the Brooklyn Dodgers. I believe that was after the 1911 season. And the Boston Rustlers became the Boston Braves. So that's where we stand on that. Retired players. Week history, I believe it is. David Swapping Neatling. Charlie Eagle Eye Hemphill. Bill Strawberry Bill Bernhard. The most tenured player probably would be Charlie Dexter. A career 245, 315, 304 hitter. Hit 23 home runs in his career. But who else do we have? Nixie Callahan. Career 265, 302, 349 hitter. But yeah. So that's where we're at with that. So I figure we'll simulate to the first player draft and see if any Wow. Okay. People are already signing. I think all 3 of our players just signed already. John Blee has signed with the Boston Red Sox for a contract worth $35,680 over 7 years. Frank Pickett joined Cincinnati for 8 years. Where is Pickett? He will join Xerxes on Cincinnati. Is he the highest paid prospect at this point? Eight years, 67,000. If he's not, he's close. He's making roughly 8,400 a season. Yeah, 84. Yeah, you can sort by salary. I'm looking at contract value. You can sort by salary. So yeah, Pickett becomes the highest paid of all the prospects so far. Hunter Tuzero has still not signed. But we get to the first-year player draft. Who will the Cardinals select with their first pick in the draft? Let us find out. With the first pick in the 1911 amateur draft, the St. Louis Cardinals select Jack Fournier. Foreigner. Yes. The Naps will take Jim Vlox, and the Cardinals will take old Pete Alexander. Cy Williams to the Senators, Bobby Veach to the Athletics, Groh to the Dodgers, Chapman to the Dodgers, Pratt to the Senators. Let's pick in this draft. No, shoot. Casey Stengel ends up going to the Cincinnati Reds. I missed that he was in this draft. I did not realize he was in this draft. He was born in 1890. He was 70-something when he managed the Mets? Okay. Unless it's a different Casey Stengel, I don't think it is. Dave Robertson didn't end up getting taken until pick 21. Marty Krug, Red Smith went to the Cubs instead of the Reds. I feel that's a travesty. And Hunter Tuzero ends up going to the New York Highlanders. $30,800 over 4 years. I think he's our first prospect to hit the Highlanders. No, Pickett was on there and McPhoney's on there. If he screws McPhoney out of a job, I'm going to be really pissed. I would be really pissed. Because the whole reason Pickett left was so that McPhoney could have a job. And if he somehow screws him out of it, I won't even know what to do. Why does he not? One second, please. Where is... Oh, I've lost his sheet. How did this sheet not get saved? Oh, but he's listed as a center fielder. I'm going to try doing this. See if that gets him some playing time. Let's try doing that. So, Hall of Fame voting results. No one elected to the Hall of Fame this year. Jimmy Ryan came the closest, getting 71.7% of the vote in just his third year. But no one, unfortunately, making it to the Hall this year. Now, at this point, we would just do what I would normally do, simulate to the beginning of spring training. Off-season center. All right, let's take a look at some big contracts here. So, Frank Pickett, John Bui, as we already pointed out. Pickett went to Cincinnati, 8 years, $67,000. Bui went to the Red Sox, 7 years, $35,000. Sam Crawford went to the Chicago White Sox for 6 years, $30,600. Hunter Tuzero went to the Yankees, as pointed out, 4 years, $30,800. Frank Chance went to the Tigers, 3 years, $15,300. Ginger Beaumont went to, I believe that's the Phillies, 1 year, $5,100. Johnny Kling went to Boston, 1 year, $5,200. And Sammy Strang signed the last contract, and the last big contract, signing with the Pittsburgh Pirates for 3 years, $15,300. So at that point, let us take it to opening day. I don't know if I'm going to do the mid-season update like I used to do with the mid-season screenshot, since the information that the mid-season screenshot was mainly so that you could get a look at like their rating and scouting levels and stuff. And that'll be accomplished by the fact that you'll be able to see both when I sim forward for it at the end of the season. So I don't think I'll be doing one of these. Joshua King has suffered a strained oblique at Spring Ballpark, sustained the injury while colliding with a player at a base. I'm going to go ahead and say that he tried to spike the Red Sox second baseman, which is something that a lot of people in real life have been doing and need to stop now. How severe is it? Is he fine? He's fine now? We're good? Moderate? Still good? Okay. So, preseason predictions. Highlanders predicted to win the AL in a landslide. Excuse me. Behind Shoeless Joe Jackson and Tris Speaker. Ghesquire predicted to be the best pitcher in the league once again. The Cincinnati Reds, of all teams, are predicted to win the NL. Behind who even? Rube Waddell, Xerxes, and I guess Frank Pickett. They expect him to lead them to victory. Ellis predicted to be the best pitcher in the league again. I don't think that would be a surprise to literally anyone at this point. Andrew Patchett predicted to be the best hitter. With Eddie Collins Sr., the best Collins in the league. Certainly not Daniel Collins. Coming up right behind Patchett. But at this point, I think we're just going to sim the entire season in one shot and see where we're at. Not till playoffs end. Till playoffs begin. Go. So, while we're waiting for this, I'd like to point out, as I usually try to do, my appreciation for you guys. I know at this point it's starting to sound like a broken record, but when I say that I appreciate the people who follow this and who support me on this, I truly and honestly mean it. And it's nice to know that when, even during times where I've slowed down and I have to change how the entire series is done, that people have been just as supportive as they've been since the beginning. AAP has been going on for 8 months now, and it's been an exciting road from September of last year to now, and I wouldn't change any bit of it. So thank you guys. I really, really appreciate it. 58 emails. Oh, I'm going to have to go through all these at some point. Now is not that time. So, to sum up the standings, as predicted, the New York Highlanders won the AL in more of a landslide than they were predicted to the preseason, where they were predicted to win by 8 games. The Cincinnati Reds, surprisingly enough to me, pulled out the NL Division victory, conference victory. Yes. What is this? Oh, I didn't know you could do that. But we'll get to the playoffs in a minute. Let's get to why everyone is here, and let's get to the prospects. So, we'll start, as always, alphabetical order, same way we've always done it. John Boye played for the Red Sox this year after leaving the Reds in free agency. Boy, I bet he feels silly about that now, considering the Reds are now in the World Series. Bat 296, 472, 438 batting line, 7 home runs, 56 RBIs. Drew 157 walks and stole 77 bases. He is still considered a 4-star player with a 4.5-star potential. The 77 stolen bases bring his career total up to 551, which I think is still pretty behind Wheels, but we'll check on Wheels in a bit. The good news is his average rose 40 points from last year. I would assume after last year, his career average, I don't remember offhand, but was probably around 265, maybe even 260. And he did a lot to raise that this year. He's up to a career 270 batting average. Almost broke the 300 mark for the 3rd time in his career. Led the league in OBP. And led the league in stolen bases. So, there's a lot of good things here. I don't really see anything bad. Struck out 62 times, but that's lower than last year. Got caught stealing 43 times, still lower than the past few years. I don't see anything catastrophic that he really did. Doubles are up, triples are up, home runs are up. Everything's up. I have nothing to complain about. So, it's good for you, Yam Yam. You did it. Good for you. Daniel Collins. I don't know what's up with the rating system. They rate him at only 3 stars, 3.5 potential. Yet the kid won 23 and 14 with a 2.18 ERA and struck out 393 people. Your guess is as good as mine as to why he's rated that low. The 107 rated slider 78 rated fastball, 102 stuff. Perfect, beautiful. Um, easily his best year. No, I lied to you. This is not easily his best year. Not as good as 1910, but kind of picking up where 1910 left off after he suffered the injury in 1911. Dragged that ERA back down, got the strikeouts up. So, good news is 23 wins, ERA almost under 2, almost 400 strikeouts, league leading Ks per 9, 4.5 wins above replacement. All good things. Bad news. That red number right there, the right, I actually physically pointed at it. You can't see that. That red number right here, under the walks category, no, don't want that. Stop walking people some more. You know what you did. Don't do it. So, but besides that, overall good year for Collins. He will certainly, I hope, be a good pitcher for years to come. He's only 25. He's got a lot left in him. I'm intrigued to see if he stays with the Braves his whole career, but who knows? Hard nosed, but not dirty. That's an interesting one. Suffered no injuries this year. Didn't get into some fight with a lawnmower. I don't know. So, moving right along to Zapdos, ZM Ellis. This man has one of the sickest knuckle curves you will ever see in your life. Still rated 5-star, 5-star. Good leadership skills, extremely good worker, great knowledge of the game. He gets along with literally everybody. So this is like your ideal teammate right here. And he actually, looking at his pitching stats, he failed to win the Triple Crown. What the hell? 34-6 record, 1.68 ERA, 398 strikeouts. Collins almost caught him in strikeouts. 0.79 whip, 16.3 WAR, base, 0.6 walks per 9, 10.4 Ks per 9. I'm pretty sure that's one of the most obnoxious Ks per walks I have ever seen in my life. 16.58 strikeouts per walk is silly. Good news, everything I just said. A lot of good stats. Still easily probably the best pitcher in the NL. Whether or not he would win if you put him in a fight against Ghesquire, I couldn't tell you. But easily the best pitcher in the NL, I think, at this point. Bad news is he didn't win the Triple Crown again. What the hell? What happened with that ERA, man? Who beat you? Who beat you? Who hurt you? I guess we'll find that out shortly. Because if we don't find it via the prospects, we'll find it when we go to look at the leaderboard. So, but still good year, great year, wonderful year. Moving right along to Flame Fuentes. Flame Fuentes, still rated 5-star, 5-star, spray hitter, fly ball hitter, fan favorite, winning smile and work ethic. This does not sound like the monster that I know. Whoa. What the hell? Okay. That was weird. So, that was Twitter auto-playing on my phone. And I thought I had mute pressed, and apparently I have the wrong button attributed to mute. So anyway, Flame Fuentes. Hit 296, 427, 525 this year. 11.1 wins above replacement. Another 41 doubles, 21 home runs, 6 triples. Slowing down on the triples a little bit. I think that's actually, hilariously enough, I think is one of the few things that people have wanted to make in AAP that I have never seen successfully done is someone who specializes in triples. I believe Waxy was trying to do that last go around, and I believe Flame Fuentes was supposed to do that this time. Mom, correct me if I'm wrong. But I haven't seen someone who can hit an obnoxious amount of triples a year. But anyway, good news is 2 of the batting line numbers are up. Average is up, even if it's only 6 points, it's still up. Slugging percentage is up 25 points. His OBP is down a little bit, but we'll look past that. More home runs, more doubles, more hits, more of everything. Bad news, lower triples, lower RBI count, drawing less walks, which is why his OBP went down 10 points. But still, not a lot to complain about if you're Monster with Flame Fuentes. Still had a really good year. Position Player of the Year candidate? Yes. Position Player of the Year winner? Based on the fact that none of these numbers are red, I'm going to go with probably not. But the game has surprised me before. So we'll see. Moving on, Charles Ghesquire. So Charlie, and what is no surprise to anyone, still rated 5-star, 5-star. Could very well be considered the best pitcher in baseball. Leader, one tough son of a gun. 128 stuff, 114 changeup, 111 slider, 81 fastball. Crazy. Charlie actually did not win the Triple Crown either, which also surprises me. 26-13 record, 1.69 ERA, 408 strikeouts, a WHIP of 1, which is, which is as silly as it sounds, is rare for him. 3 of the past 4 years, his WHIP has been under 1, so to see it at 1.0 is actually a little bit weird for me. 14.5 WAR, 10.8 Ks per 9. The 400 strikeouts compared to 78 walks. I still probably view this is a tough call because now I'm thinking about who I would pick to win in an Ellis Ghesquire pitching war. And I think it's close, but I don't know who I would take. I'll have to pay attention in the future. Actually, there's no interleague play. But I can assure you, if we ever somehow get a Phillies-Browns World Series and we have Ghesquire v. Ellis, that we will be watching the hell out of that game. Anyway, good news. Still lots of red numbers. Still where you want them to be. Strikeouts, WHIP, K per 9, ERA. Bad news, only 26 wins, which was apparently not enough to take a Triple Crown. 13 losses. Where did these 13 losses come from? Let's see. That looks like a 1-inning relief appearance. A 10... Maybe I gotta stop accidentally right-clicking. A 10-inning performance where he gave up 5 hits and 2 runs and he took the loss. 8 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. Takes a loss. 8 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs, 2 earned. 8 and a third, 11 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned. Okay, that one you probably deserved. Here you got a blown save. That's confusing. Okay. Here's actually a 3-loss streak. Yeah, so you have a few no decisions in here, but that's from throwing only. Oh, that's spring training. That's not even regular season. You have a few no decisions in here. 2 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings. I don't know, man. Wish I could tell you. 340 innings, though. Still quite a bit. Moving right along to Ivanov. So Ivanov, still rated 5-star pitcher, still part of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Highly regarded by his teammates. Ooh. Well, I found the guy who took the ERA crown away from Ellis. Holy crap. 25 and 11 record, 1.15 ERA in 344 innings. That is silly. 363 Ks, 65 walks, 0.81 whip, 15.3 wins above replacement. So, Ivanov did a thing this year. Good news, holy crap, that ERA. That's all I'm going to say about good news. I mean, it's not that there wasn't other good news. It's that, holy crap, this ERA just completely outshined everything else. 1.15 is ridiculously low, obviously. Especially when you consider that he threw 344 innings to get that 1.15 ERA. Let's just look at his game log real fast. Lots of like 1-run games here. There's 2 shutouts in a row. There's 2 shutouts in a row. 2 shutouts in a row. 2 shutouts in a row. He pitched a lot of shutouts. I don't know. I don't know if he... Does he win the Cy Young over Ellis? Does he win the Greinke over Ellis? 25-11, 1.15 versus 34-6, 1.68. Strikeouts both about the same. I think you can make a case for either of them. I don't know. So moving on, Joshua King. So Wheels only rated 3.5, 3.5 nowadays. I'm a little confused as to why, but okay. Seems a leader in the clubhouse, puts in long hours, intelligent on and off the field, popular in the clubhouse. I feel like OOTP 19 messed up the scouting system or something on this. I feel like players are regressing, at least ratings-wise, far faster than they should be, or they aren't rated as high as they should be. But, yeah, batting line, 327, 439, 417, with 4.3 WAR. Stole another 68 bases this year, putting him at 702. 1 home run, 59 ribbies, 6 triples. I guess Wheels is kind of the closest we've had to the person who specializes in triples. 11, 13, 13, 12. He got double digits 4 years in a row. He's probably the closest we have. Good news. Batting line. Average up 30 points. OBP up 40 points. Slugging up 5 points. Oh well. Batting line, I think, as anyone who has seen AAP since its inception, batting line is always one of the first things I look at when I look for good news, bad news. I rate it very highly. So that's why it's so important to me to see that average go up 30, the OBP go up 40. Bad news. Stolen bases starting to take a dive a little bit. Didn't lead the league in stolen bases for the first time since 1909. No, I'm not ready to fully commit to saying it's a bad thing, considering when he had that bad season in 1909, bad in quotation marks, in 1909, he came back and stole 91 bases in 1910. So, might just been an off year for him. Well, then again, 1909, he also missed 50 games. So, I'm still not ready to panic yet. Does he have the record yet? At 702? No, 912. Fourth all time, though. Only 210 behind Billy Hamilton. While I'm here, did we have any records set this year? Year in 1912. Shows Joe Jackson hit 56 doubles. It's a lot. That's the only record we saw fall this year, though. So, but anyway, going back to what I was saying about Josh. I'm hoping we can see him break this record. He is on pace to do it easily. He's on pace to break it before he's 30. So, I'm hoping for the best for him, for Wheels. Johnny McPhoney. Oh my God, he's still not seeing starts. What do we need to do to get this man some starts? Rated 4 stars, 5 stars. He spent most of his young years on the bench. Who do they have starting over him? Who do the New York Highlanders have starting over Johnny McPhoney? Tris Speaker out in center field. Fine, I'll give it that. Joe Jenkins. Joe Jenkins. You're going to tell me that Joe Jenkins is better than Johnny McPhoney? No, they have him as a first baseman. Why? He has no first base experience. Zero. All of his experience is in center field. Why do you have him as first baseman? I don't get it. You started him in the outfield in 1907. He did fine. Started him in the outfield in 1908. He did fine. He's not able to opt out of this contract until 1914. I'm confused. Excuse me. Well, to analyze what I can, batting average nearly 300. OBP over 400 for the first time in his career. Slugging percentage 443. No home runs, 21 RBIs. He only saw 82 plate appearances. Stole 4 bases, got caught stealing 5 times. I'm upset. Um, Introduct, if you're here, if you're watching this video, shoot me a message on Reddit. If you want, I will just cancel McPhoney's contract and we'll have him hit free agency and see if a team will actually pick him up to start him. Because this is... I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking about just going rogue and doing that on my own. This is getting ridiculous with him. Yankees don't know what they're doing with him. And it's killing me. But he was the Rookie of the Year. Moving right along. Andrew Patchett, still listed 5 stars, 5 stars. Puts in long hours. Good head on his shoulders. Gets along with everyone. Still playing for the Philadelphia Phillies. Nothing's really changed in that department from last year. This year, hit 371, 489, 620. 33 home runs, 115 RBIs. Did not lead the league in home runs. Because Pickett's in the league now. He actually has to compete with Pickett on things. Or it could be Hunter. Who knows? No, Hunter's in the AL now. So it's probably Pickett. 12.3 WAR. 23 doubles, 7 triples. Good news. Broken record again. Good news. Batting line. Average up almost 30 points. OBP's up 23 points. Slugging percentage is up 33 points. All things that you want to see. Bad news. What is the 42 times caught stealing, man? What did you... Are you that fast? You are that fast. I stand corrected. I don't really have any bad news for you. Runs scored are down a little bit, but I don't really know if that's particularly your fault. One of the people batting behind you. Just your steal ratio has gotten pretty... Your successful steal ratio has gotten pretty undesirable at a 50%, almost 50% fail rate. But it's the worst thing I could find for you. Still very good season. Still position player of the year caliber season. I think easily, depending on how Pickett did. But I feel like based on the fact that you've won it, how many years in a row now? Let me go check the history. You've won it 3 years in a row now. You'll probably win it again. Probably. I did not mean to open Opera. Go away, Opera. Alright. I think you end up winning it again. Moving on to who I feel is probably going to end up being your main competition, Frank Pickett. 4.5 star, 5-star player, considered one of the team leaders, extremely hard worker, well respected by his teammates. 99 home run power, fully developed, finally, about time. I don't think, nope, no injuries this year. Finished with a batting line of 290, 370, 523. 7.5 wins above replacement. League leading 39 home runs. That puts him at 157. And he is now the career leader in home runs. And Andrew Patchett is right behind him. And Hunter Tuzero is right behind him. And Fuentes is not far behind them. Man, if you wanted to make a career, if you wanted to make someone who's going to have a career record and adopt a prospect, pulling a home run hitter in 1903 was probably your best bet. There was, I mean, who was in the lead before that? Roger Connor at 138. Yeah, Pickett's 25. He already holds it. So good for him. We have a career record holder. 110 ribbies, 75 walks, 78 strikeouts. So, good news. Obviously, home runs. Breaking the career home run record, big deal, even if it is kind of a gimme right now. Bad news. You're starting to strike out more than you're walking again. And you've been good about that for the past 3 years. And you stop being good about that. Get back to being good about that, please. Thank you. Your team will appreciate it. Xerxes will appreciate it. But moving on, Hunter Tuzero. Hunter Tuzero rated as a 4-star, 4.5-star player. Now playing for the New York Highlanders. Still has that crazy home run power, that crazy eye and discipline, and the crazy no contact. All defense, no speed, no contact. We're either hitting a home run or we ain't moving from the plate. A league-leading 20 home runs for him this year. He managed to barely hit above the Mendoza line again. Batting 201, 387, 346. 88 ribbies, 104 hits, 93 runs. Oh, excuse me. Good news. Still batting above the Mendoza line. Always good. Still hitting the home runs, leading the league in home runs. Always good. Still drawing those walks. Always good. Bad news. On base percentage dropped. On base percentage dropped 25 points, which is not great. I'm hoping that since 1910, that having an over 400 on base percentage would become the norm, not the exception. So I'm hoping that by that, I mean 1913, you'll be back about 400. Hoping, maybe. We'll see. You're in an entirely different league now, different pitchers. You're facing Ghesquire every so often, and that's probably not good for your average or your on base percentage. But, it's whatever. Still, really good season. Lastly, we get to Xerxes Wolfeschlegelsteinhausenbergerdorff III, who we almost made it a full hour without having to say that name. 2.5-star player. 19-9 record, 2.56 ERA, 229 strikeouts, 1.11 whip. Still got the good circle change, but the cutter and the sinker are starting to tail off. The movement's starting to tail off. I'm not going to lie, Xerxes is obviously, as you can see by the Twitter handle, Xerxes is my player. I will probably put debate into retiring Xerxes soon if he stays like this. I mean, I shouldn't be complaining because he's 19-9. He's still almost a 20-game winner. But it just feels like compared to everyone else, he's just not nearly as good. Good news. 111 whip. Almost 20-game winner. Bad news, the ERA is starting to balloon a bit. The 2.56 ERA is the highest of his career, by far. He's, it's, like I said, it might just be because goodness, excuse me, again, it might just be because I'm comparing him to names like Ghesquire and Ivanov and Ellis that I feel like he's not holding up. But I feel like he's not holding up. I feel like I'll give him one more season. We'll see where we go from there. But I have concerns for Xerxes Wolfeschlegelsteinhausenbergerdorff III already. And it's a little early in his career that I shouldn't be having these concerns. Oh, I thought they traded him. They just claimed him off waivers. Ew. Well then. So now we get to league leaders. Let's take a look at the AL. AL batting leaders, shoeless Joe Jackson, after the season he had last year. I don't think anyone finds it surprising. Hunter Tuzero, Tris Speaker leading the home runs and the ribbies. It's a lot of New York Highlander dominated names here. It's a lot of Highlander blue here. Shoeless Joe Jackson leads batting average, WAR, runs, hits, on base plus slugging. He led in slugging percentage with 2 home runs. Oh, right, the 56 doubles and 23 triples. Right. Right. Okay. Making Tris Speaker look terrible. I know Tris Speaker is a career doubles leader. At least he was 19 as of 1998, because that was a record that Waxy was chasing in the original AAP. 353 total bases. Sack flies. Over on the NL side, Eddie Collins Sr. led in batting average, hitting 377. Frank Pickett led in home runs with 39. And Andrew Patchett led in RBIs with 115. Patchett also led in OBP, slugging percentage, and obviously on base plus slugging. Led in WAR. Eddie Collins Sr. had the most hits. Jimmy Sheckard led in runs. So that's about where we're at with batting leaders. Pitching leaders will start with NL because it went to it anyway. Ivanov obviously destroyed the competition in the ERA contest with an ERA of only 115. Ellis, 34 wins, 8 more than anyone else. Noodles Hahn led the league in losses, 25. That seems wrong. Yeah. Well, I know that Andrew Patchett, otherwise known in the Discord as JLH, will be very happy to see Noodles Hahn lead the league in losses, considering that they had a bit of a rivalry when Andrew Patchett got suspended for punching him out. DML also led in WAR, as pointed out, 16.3, 33 complete games, 398 strikeouts. Daniel Collins walked 83 more batters than anyone else. Just lots of prospect names on these lists. Always a good thing. AL. So, Charles Ghesquire led in ERA with 1.69 and strikeouts with 408, where he struck out more than twice as many batters as anyone else in the AL, which is ludicrous. 408 divided by 169, 2.41 times as many batters as anyone else. He did, however, lose the Triple Crown because Christy Mathewson just had to go out and get one more win than he did, getting 29, pitching for the Red Sox. Ray Collins holding second with Ghesquire, along with, Ed Carter at 26th. Ghesquire had 8 shutouts this year, which is silly. Ivanov had 10. I forgot to point that out when we were on the NL page. But it was... I think Ghesquire is our only pitcher in the AL. So to see him up here all these times is not surprising to me. Historical simulation. Oh my god. More home runs per. How is Pickett not single-handedly increased this by a lot on just himself? Cincinnati. Pickett had more home runs than some entire teams did. How many home runs did he have? 39. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 out of the 16 teams did not hit more home runs than Frank Pickett did by himself this year. There were 448 home. Frank Pickett had 10% of the league's home runs by himself, almost roughly. That is crazy. So that will finally get to the playoffs. Cincinnati Reds versus the New York Highlanders. Obviously, no interleague play, so they haven't played each other yet. First game is October 9th. Highlanders defeat the Reds. Highlanders go up 2-0. So this will be, I believe this will be Xerxes' first playoff appearance right here. Yeah, I don't think he has any playoff stats. Nope. So yeah, this will be Xerxes' first playoff start here. Playoffs. There we go. And he takes a loss, which is unfortunate. Yankees, I'm sorry, not the Yankees. Highlanders going for the sweep. And they get it. Addy Joss outdueling Rube Waddell one more time in Game 4 to lock up the World Series for the New York Highlanders. Their second in a row. They still have a lot to do to catch up to the Yankees of real life, but hey, Yankees of real life, I believe, at this point, did not have a World Series. They did not. So they're ahead of the game. So Highlanders win the World Series 2-0. I'm going to not 2-0, 4 games. Did I say 2-0? It's 4-0. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Someone remind me to not do these recordings this late at night. This was a silly idea on my part. Where is Mong? I'll send him that. And I had promised Mong that because he's not able to follow this series on video, that I would just send him quick screenshots. And I forgot to do that. Probably should have done that off stream, but it's already done, so it's too late. We're here. I think we'll get better and more streamlined at this whole video series as we, over the next couple seasons. I expect a rough couple of videos to start off, and then once I get into a groove, I think we'll be good. So, Highlanders win the World Series. Let's go take a look at some of our award winners, shall we? News. Major awards. So, Gold Gloves announced today. AL Gold Gloves. Hunter Tuzero takes one in shortstop. Now the Yankees. They've officially changed to the Yankees. In the NL, Frank Pickett takes it for the Reds. Andrew Patchett takes second base for the Phillies. Flame Fuentes takes the shortstop one for the Cubs. Ellis gets the Gold Glove for pitcher. Simulating day ahead, we actually have Reliever of the Year awards, which is amazing. Only one person was eligible, apparently. 2.70 ERA, 7 saves, 26 strikeouts, 24 walks. I mean, I guess that's fair. We actually had a couple eligible people in the NL. So Doc White actually had to work for it. 0.90 ERA over 80 innings of work, 43 relief appearances, no saves, 46 strikeouts. That's pretty good. That's a lot of good. Good for him. That is a deserving winner. Moving right along to the Silver Slugger Awards. Joshua King will take the first base Silver Slugger for the St. Louis Browns. Shoeless Joe Jackson, of course, again. On the NL side, Frank Pickett, no surprise there. Andrew Patchett, no surprise there. Casey Stengel just came into the league and he just got it already. Good for him. Rookie of the Year, Jim Vaux for the Cleveland Naps. Takes Rookie of the Year for the AL. Casey Stengel gets Rookie of the Year for the NL. So good for them. Manager of the Year, New York Highlanders Kyle Lemons. And Cincinnati manager Connie Mack, which is no surprise because I find that like 19 times out of 20, it's just the managers of the teams that made the World Series, but it's whatever. Ghesquire will take the Greinke in the AL, which I don't think is a surprise to literally anybody. Addie Joss finished over Christy Mathewson, which I will admit is a bit of a surprise to me. But that's Ghesquire's. How many Greinkes is that for him? It's a lot. That's Ghesquire's 6th straight Greinke. From 1907 to now, Ghesquire has won the Greinke. On the NL side, it will go to Ivan Ivanov, who not only won it, but won it unanimously. And I'm not surprised that he won it because of that 1.15 ERA. I am surprised he won it unanimously. to see ZM Ellis get absolutely 0 votes, I think is a crime, considering the guy struck out nearly 400 batters and had 34 wins, and he didn't get a single first place vote. Daniel Collins, 3rd place in the voting. Xerxes even got a 2nd place vote. So, good for them. Finally, we have the Position Player of the Year awards. Shoeless Joe Jackson wins it unanimously for the AL. And Andrew Patchett wins it again for the NL. That is Patchett's 4th in a row. Ivanov, by the way, I should mention, broke ZM Ellis' streak of 3 straight Cy Youngs. And here's a fun fact for you. We've been having the Cy Young Award for almost 10 years now. This is the 10th Cy Young Award that we're handing out. And in the NL, only 3 people have ever won it. Christy Mathewson, Ivan Ivanov, and ZM Ellis. Mathewson did it 4 times. Ivanov and Ellis have done it 3 times each. But Patchett takes another MVP, another Position Player of the Year. I gotta think of a creative name for that award, but for now it's staying Position Player of the Year. News. Any big accomplishments this year? Addy Joss gets 200th win. Bill Dineen gets 250th win. Rube Waddell gets win number 250. Bill Bradley gets his 2000th hit. And Noodles Hahn gets his 250th win in a season where he went 11-25. Sure. Yeah. We go to the mail. Game performances. Any crazy game performances? 16 strikeouts. That's just a shutout, yes? Yeah. Four-hit shutout. I'm just making sure that we don't have like any perfect games or no hitters that I'm not seeing. 2 hits. Okay. So finally, we'll just see how everyone's doing here in the managerial department. Cassius Clay will likely receive a Hall of Fame plaque when his management career is all said and done. Wow, big words for someone who's 61-93 in the past 2 seasons without a playoff appearance. Okay, yeah. Manfred Manfregenson is now the pitching coach for the Brooklyn Superboss. I would make him a hitting coach, but that's just me. That's not really going well for him. Manfred, I know you're a hitting based person. I'm just going to do that. We'll see how that goes. It's adopt a manager. I'm not going to lose sleep over changing someone. Michael Quinn, GM of the New York Yankees, he's doing pretty well for himself. He took over the Highlanders in 1907. and has turned them around a bit more. They're getting a bit better every year. Led in the 2 straight World Series. Brian Richards, still the pitching coach for the Yankees Double-A team, and they're still doing pretty flipping good. Bobby Waltz, the manager for the Spokane Counts, the Naps single A affiliate team. He looks like he's starting to turn it around a bit there after they had a rough season in 1910. But, you know, a minor league manager can only do so much with the GM always meddling in. And finally, the Waxy Taxi is now the manager for the St. Louis Cardinals. Did not have a great first year, but, you know, he's still new to the whole being a full manager thing. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it works out for him. But I think with that, don't you do this not responding to me. Oh, thank you. I think we're just going to go to the draft pool announcement, as that's where I personally like to end updates. Do we have anyone in free agency? Ivanov is hitting free agency. Hunter Tuzero is hitting free agency again. I find it amazing because he has low loyalty, but he has low greed. He was just on a team that won the World Series. Oh, his desire for winners won. What is making him opt out of literally every contract he's ever gotten? And why do teams keep giving him contracts where he can opt out after 1 year? Got me. So we'll see Ivanov and Tuzero on the free agency next time. Who is in this draft? Bubbles Hargrave, Tommy Griffith, Ray Powell, Rabbit Moranville, Ed Roush. Some pretty good names in here. I did not miss the coming of Ruth, correct? Nope. Great. So, I think with that, we will cut this episode of Adopt a Prospect here. Hour 18, according to my live timer. Pretty good. Certainly beats the 4 to 5 hours it would take me to do a written update. So, I plan to do another update ideally Saturday night after I get home from work. So, hope to see that then. I don't want to make promises, but that's when I'm hoping to do it. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. If you like it, if you're on Twitch, you can either shoot me a follow, which will let you know when I'm online because I actually stream this before it goes on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, well then just, I'm not going to sit here and go, I'll subscribe, but follow the playlist at least, or just keep the playlist somewhere where you can update it if you want to see when it goes live, or you can just follow Reddit, because I post every one of these updates on Reddit. Do whatever suits for you, whatever makes your life easier. That's all I care about. So thank you as always for watching, and have a great night.